This is how I'm going to hold myself accountable. I'm going to read at least one book from every single one of these. Hi, welcome, come on in. My name is Aoife and today I'm sharing with you a list of all of the romance authors from whom I have not read one single book. So all of these are going to be brand new romance authors on my TBR for me to discover. There is, of course, going to be a little bit of crossover with the video that I just recently put up of all of the romance books that I want to read before the end of this year. I'm going to link that up there. A difference in that video, though, is that I have at least read a book by some of those authors. There are a couple of them who I've read at least one book by them already. These authors are completely brand new, and there are some people that I have never read anything from, and I am genuinely very excited to get to know. First one on the list is Sarah Morgenthaler, and this is the tourist attraction which I got as a gift from my friend around Valentine's Day. This one is set in Alaska, and it has a trope that I really enjoy, which is a sunshine heroine paired with a kind of a grumpy hero. And that is something that I really love seeing in books. I like seeing that kind of, not personality change, but how their mood kind of improves over the whole book because this girl has come into their life. You're following Graham, who owns a cafe in the town of Moose Springs in Alaska, and he knows that it's a huge tourist track for everybody there. He knows that there are so many tourists who come to the area every single year, so he decides to name his cafe the Tourist Trap. And Zoe comes to Moose Springs on a kind of a 2-week holiday, and she bumps into Graham through a kind of an act of kindness, it says. And then things escalate from there. I'm really excited to see what happens with this. And also, if this is a book that I really enjoy, I know that it is one of a series. I think there's another book in it at least called Mr. Right and Mistletoe, or Mistletoe and Mr. Right. If I really love this book, I'm gonna definitely look out for that other one too. Next one on the list is Spoiler Alert by Olivia Dade. I have read absolutely zero of Olivia's books. I think this is actually her debut book. This book features fandoms and the idea of falling in love with your hero and the person that you have admired growing up for so long, which is something that I think every person out there has at least some kind of a hope and aspiration to. But I think it also has a kind of a You've Got Mail vibe in that she is talking to the guy about whom she writes fan fiction, but she has no idea that she's actually talking to him. I am genuinely so excited to see how this one plays out. The next author that I have one physical book at least for is Lisa K. Adams, and this is the Bromance Book Club. I was also gifted this one around Christmas time by Justine from I Should Read That, and I know that she loved this, and not only her, but also her husband really enjoyed it. And I feel like if you have a guy's opinion on a rom-com and he says it's really good, then it's going to be something that really is enjoyable. This one is about a second chance marriage in that their relationship is kind of stalling and going a little bit sour. So Gavin, the main character here, and a couple of friends of his put together a little kind of a book club where they read a romance book every month and try and find tips to bring some romance back into their lives and to spice things back up in the bedroom. The final physical book that I have is Well Met by Jen DeLuca, and I also have a copy of Well Played back there. So hopefully if I really enjoy this one, I can just go straight into the sequel. This one has like a kind of touch of a historical romance about it in that it is set. The two characters live in this world and they live in our times, but there's also a Renaissance fair happening in the background. And I think they're actors in a Renaissance fair or they take part in it in some way. I don't read a whole lot of historical romance, but it's something that I definitely want to try and get into. So I have a feeling if I really enjoy this one and if I really enjoy Well Played, I have kind of opened the door for myself and I'm going to have a look at some more historical romances that I might really like. And so we come to the authors for whom I only have e-copies. And the first one is Alicia Rye. I have two of Alicia's books on my Kindle. I have Girl Got Viral and I have got The Right Swipe. I am not totally sure what either of them are about. I think they're about online dating and matchmaking and that situation. It's something that I have a lot of experience with. Myself and the tall man met online. So I have a feeling that that's going to kind of connect me to the story in a little way. But I am really excited to see how it goes. I also really love Alicia's Instagram presence and TikTok and Twitter. So I have a feeling if her books are as funny as she is, I'm going to absolutely love them. The next one that I have is Kwana Jackson, and I have got a NetGalley copy of Real Men Knit. I'm not totally sure what Real Men Knit is about. I have some kind of an idea, but I don't want to go too far into it. I have a feeling it is about a knitting shop or a knitting group, and one of the higher up people in it passes away, and then there's a couple of guys who come in and try to kind of reignite it, bring the love of knitting back in, and then falls in love with another member of the group or somebody who comes to work in the knitting shop. I really enjoy books that have a male perspective when you're reading a romance book. I've actually done a video just really recently about 3 books that have a male perspective as a romance. It's something that you don't see quite a lot of, but I really love reading it, and it's something that I want to discover a lot more of. The next author on the list is Debbie Johnson, and she is a hugely popular romance author in the UK. She writes quite a lot of clean romance and books that are kind of set in cafes or in bookshops or by the beach or in little quaint villages. I absolutely love reading those. I've read quite a lot of the same books written by Heidi Swain and written by Portia McIntosh, and I've really loved what they do. So my kind of thinking is, if this is something that I really enjoy in books and it's done well and it's done by these two and I love that, there is absolutely no reason why I shouldn't really enjoy it when Debbie Johnson does it too. Next on the list is another popular UK author, and that is Kylie Dunbar. So I have got 4 of her books on my Kindle from a daily deal a couple of months ago. I think it was back in November. I hadn't tried out any of her books yet, but the 4 of them were 99p each. And there's a lot of people who have kind of similar reading tastes to me that have really enjoyed them. She's very popular in a specific Facebook group that I'm in for readers of chick lit and women's fiction and that genre of reading. They all really have enjoyed Kylie Dunbar's books. I am looking for something that's going to sweep me away from where I am in the pandemic and bring me to something that's a little bit more carefree, and I have a feeling that that's what's in store here. Next on the list is Farah Roshan. So I have got, again, 2 of her books on my Kindle. I have got Accidentally Engaged and I've got The Boyfriend Project. I don't think that there's any connection with those. I don't think that they are a series. I think you can read them pretty much in any order that you want. If they're connected books, even better, because I love when you can kind of just get into the world of the book that you're reading. But I know a lot of people have really enjoyed them, and I am really looking forward to reading them too. One series that I do have got waiting on my Kindle though, and definitely one that I need to read in order, is the 5 books in a romance series by Jasmine Guillory. And I know that there is a 6th book coming out sometime this year, I think June or July. I am not going to get all 6 books read by June or July, but I am going to try and get one of them read at least by then. I know that these are kind of companion books that don't necessarily have the same main character in each book, but different side characters from this book will appear in this book. I can remember kind of most of the names of the books. So we've got The Proposal, The Engagement, The Wedding Party, Party for Two, and The Royal Holiday. I think that that's the order that they go in. I do know that a lot of people in the Facebook group that I've just mentioned have really, really enjoyed her books, and I am really excited to get to reading them too. Last one on the list is a little bit of a net safe for work one, and that is Tracy Bloom. So I have got one of her books in a physical copy back in my parents' house. And the main reason that I bought it was because of the title, and it was called Nobody Has Sex on a Tuesday. I haven't read it. I think I've had it for about 2 or 3 years by now, but the title absolutely drew me in. And I know that it is part of a series that you also have a book in there called Nobody Has Sex at Christmas, and there's another couple of them in that series. But I've also got a copy on NetGalley of her most recent book, The Woman Who Got Her Life Back. I'm really excited to see what I actually enjoy of her books and if it's worth it for me to go into the whole series. So those are some romance authors that I have yet to discover. Have you read any of those, and where should I start with? What's your opinion? Don't forget to like and subscribe because I have new videos up every week. Now, get on out of here.